Police in Gombe State have apprehended a 27-year-old man accused of defiling a 5-year-old girl in Pindiga, Akko Local Government Area. Abdullahi said the matter was reported on December 15th at about 8:30 a.m. against the suspect at Pindiga Police Station. He said that the suspect, names withheld, had lured the 5-year-old girl to his home and allegedly had sexual intercourse with her. The police spokesperson said the victim was taken to the hospital for medical treatment, where the doctor also confirmed that she had been violated. However, upon receipt of the complaint, the above-mentioned suspect was arrested. Abdullahi stated that during the course of investigation, the suspect confessed to the alleged crime and would be charged to court for prosecution. Besides, the command spokesperson paraded 15 other suspects for various crimes ranging from criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, possession of counterfeit naira notes, amongst others. Abdullahi restated the command's commitment to tackling crimes in the state. The case of child rape. Rape has always been a topic for discourse. Now, the increase in the rate of child rape is rather alarming.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this story?
Okay, I think that no matter the structure that has been put in place to stop the issue of defilement and rape, I think there should be more awareness to people, because we can't have issues like this every day. It's a normal thing. Like some people, you tell them that this child was raped, it's normal. Like to them, it's normal.
Why? Why has that become a thing?
Because that's the circumstances they are faced with. Like in that area, there's sometimes there's a particular location where you go and you mention some sort of crime, they are used to it, like it has been happening, and it gets to a point they don't see it as a crime again. It's just a normal way of living.
Now, you talked about a particular place that happens. Do you think that it is prevalent in those areas because the law doesn't take its course against such individuals?
Yeah.
You know, in Nigeria, we have Ministry of Women Affairs. We have the Violence Against People Prohibition Act. We have the Child Rights Act. Most of this stuff, most of these laws and this act and these bodies, FIDA and all, the idea is to combat violence against persons, violence against women, violence against children. Do you think these people have stood the test of time with what their core service is?
Yeah, because I know we've worked with them for a period and we've referred cases to them.
Okay.
Yes, so they have been trying their best, but it depends the structure. Like here, like the case mentioned, it did not happen here. It was there. So it depends the structure there.
But even in Port Harcourt,
yeah.
Let's talk about Port Harcourt. Now, let's borrow a leaf. In Port Harcourt, about 3 weeks ago, a girl was, seriously defiled anally by a 16-year-old boy in Job. A 17-year-old boy was accosted for raping an 8-year-old in Port Harcourt. So I'm not going to say, I don't want to ask this based on, social crimes as regards to, is because this happened in northern Nigeria. It's now around the scope. It's happening everywhere. I mean, even men are taking advantage of young boys, right? Do you think that these bodies, their work is actually paying off? Do you think we're seeing the ripple effect of the actions? Because if you're going to limit a crime, you have to do something that will make other people more aware that if I do this, this is going to happen to me, so as to deter them. Do you think these bodies and all the awareness they've been putting in, do you think it has paved the way, it has done anything, it has made any effect of any kind?
Yeah, I think for a period of time it did, because we are into it. We do handle cases of ex-GBV rape. So there was a period where it came down, like it wasn't that high again, it came down. But I think now that so many people have relented in awareness creating, I think it has gone up again. Because before...
So what did you people do then when you were trying to... What happens to people that rape people? What was the charge?
The charge was 14 years imprisonment.
Do you think 14 years is enough for the trauma this 5-year-old is going to endure. And for her dignity, as it were. You just mentioned the particular sect where when they see a child pattern, you say this child, they will be like, do you think 14 years is good timing enough to serve for a crime for defiling a child, a little girl that will see a snake and think it's a pet? She'll see a bear and give it a warm hug. She'll rightly kiss a snake thinking it's a toy. Do you think 14 years is enough time to serve for rape and defilement, especially, sadly, of a minor?
No. I think it should be life imprisonment for the perpetrator.
Now, recently, the Minister of Women Affairs was calling for the capital punishment for rapists and sexual offenders. Do you think that is a viable call to action as regards a means to deter other people from going through this act?
Yeah. I think it's a good one. You know, this rape of a thing, people have been going in for rape for rape. But I don't know the problem that is attached to people. Because even when you create this awareness, like you go to a community, you create this awareness about rape, when you rape somebody, the trauma and everything, you go in for it, they will arrest you, you will not see your family again for 40. You come back the next day, there's a crime, there's a rape crime.
Why do you think it has been on the rise? Back in the day when we were growing up, you see, when it's raining, everybody comes outside. You know, you put on your small pants and you're running around in the rain. We're not getting raped. Why do you think it's become so prevalent now? Why do you think it's been on the rise? And remember them back then, there was no social media.
Yeah.
But now, you know there is social media. Instead of it to be turning down, it's on the rise. Why do you think that is?
I think rape has always been there.
Right.
Yeah, because then there was no social media. And people were not coming out to say I was raped. Because then, if you tell your mom that, this uncle touched me like this, you'll be like, keep quiet. Don't you know it will tarnish your reputation? Don't you know that, then we were grooming, our mothers were grooming women for marriage, not for education and other things.
Right.
So, yes. So, once you complain that, this man touched me or this man did this to me, they'll, keep quiet. Don't you know that it will tarnish your image? Do you think they will marry you? Anybody that heard that this uncle did this to you, they will not marry. So people were actually hiding the pain. Not that rape was not there. It was there. It was there, but people were hiding it inside. Families were covering it, not to come out. And now that there's social media, anonymous, like people can just come out and tell you that, my uncle did this to me.
All right.
Yeah, without the fear of being known or the fear of, like, they're fed up. Sometimes sometimes when you see some people, some victims, we don't call them victims, we call them victors of rape. When you ask them, how long has this thing been going on, they'll tell you, from when I was 10 years old. And this person that you're talking to is about 21 years old. And this thing has been happening for 11 years old. From 11 years. Because the parents, the guardian, in quotes, doesn't want them to come out. So it's not as if it's just happening now or it's on a high increase now. It has been there.
All right.
It has been there. But people have been covering it.
Now, I want to ask you 2 questions. First of all, let me break it into 3.
Okay.
On the first hand, what do you think parents can do? You rightly mentioned parents and the cover-up. How do you think, because a child spends more time at home than they spend in school and they spend in church. It's still going to come to social responsibility, but on one hand, the first hand, what can parents do to safeguard their children away from typical sad, traumatic crimes like rape? On the second hand, what do we do as a people, as a society? We are a communal people, or we are supposedly supposed to be a communal people, to safeguard girls and boys from getting abused. What do we do? Now the society says, they will ask you, it's not your business. You heard things like, mind your business. you're not my boss. You hear young children say, you're not the boss of me. You know, what do we do now with giving what we have as a people to safeguard children from rape? Now, on the third angle, what or how does the government implement stricter sanctions? I'm talking about stricter sanctions that would make people say, no, I don't want to do this. Recently, I think it was in China, a prime minister was killed for corruption. Do you know that anybody coming into that seat, an ex-minister, do you know anybody coming into that seat will not want to repeat the same crime because he was killed on Tuesday? Yeah. Now, do you think, what structures do you think the government should put in place to deter people from ruining the life of children through rape? So we start from the first one. It begins from what can parents do? What can we do as a society collectively? And I'm talking about all of the religious bodies, all of the schools, as a person, as individuals ourselves. What can we do? Then on the third angle, what can the government and civil society do to secure children and women from rape?
Okay, so I'll start from the first question, which is what can parents do to safeguard their children from rape?
Right.
I think, first of all, most parents don't have a good relationship with their children. They don't have a relationship where a child can come and tell you that, mommy, my uncle in school told me that my bum bum is big. Because the first thing that will come out from the mother's mouth will be like, keep quiet. And the mother won't go further to ask, what was the conversation between your teacher and you that made your uncle to tell you that your bum bum is big? You know, from there, when you have a good relationship and a good conversation with your child, they'll be open to tell you things, like when this uncle is coming. But most people shut their children out, like with work. Once a child is coming to discuss with the father, I'm busy. No. Okay. If the uncle come and tell you that, oh, your bum bum is big, next time, tell him thank you. No, that's not the right way.
Right.
As a parent, when your child tells you something that you know that is not normal, that the teacher is doing, or the gatesman is doing, or the help in the house is doing to the child, you confront that situation immediately. You call the person to order. Why will you tell my child, my girl child, that her bum bum is big? That's not your place to tell my child.
All right. So what do you think we should do as a people?
Okay, as a people, I feel as a people, we should be our brother's keeper. You know, most of these people, most of them that are prone to defilement are adolescents and children. So if you see a child or an adult that is misbehaving, you know, most of these children, they don't like you calling them in crowd. They like a personal confrontation. Like if you see a child misbehaving, because once a child is being raped or a teenage girl is being raped, the first thing you hear from somebody is like, he reach her. Now the way she dey dress. Yeah, that'll be the first thing a normal person will say. But if you see a child misbehaving, you call the child. Because you too, you're a parent. This way that you're going, you can give advice.
All right.
You can talk to the person, not in a confrontational way, but you can be friendly.
All right.
Yeah, we've done that so many times. Like we've talked to children and we've talked to people that sometimes you see them, you don't even know them, they'll greet you because of the way you handle them. Yes.
So what do you think the government should do?
Okay, I think the government should visit the punishment for rape perpetrators.
Are you in or are you in support of the capital punishment for rape?
Yes.
You're in support of the capital punishment for rape. Thank you very much for